that funky soul lot of guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday on the Mighty Met KMET and iNewsWire as we speak. Type in iNewsWire Roy Bluckert on the evil, and I mean evil, FB Network, YouTube, do all that good stuff. Lots of stuff happening today. This Practice Friday. Trump says we got MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, I'll get it out. With Iran, we'll see. The evidence is getting damning on the voter fraud and the joke of the California election. Trump calls and cites the fraudulent farce of the California elections, and it should be the impetus for passing the Save America Act. Voter ID, same-day voting in November. Then get it done. Send J.D. Vance down there. I don't care how you do it. Get it done. The current L.A. mayor, Karen Buffoon-Bass, own brother is suing because his house got burnt down in the Palisades. And he still can't rebuild her own freaking brother. We get into the disingenuousness of politicos all across the board. California now is not the financial center of the world. We will tell you where the new one is and more. But, as we say, lead story of the day, Mark Wayne Mullen and Todd Blanche came up and said 146,000 unaccompanied migrant minors located in the U.S. under Trump. Department of Justice and Department of Homeland Security have said. If Trump doesn't accomplish anything but that, finding the lost kids, Javier Becceria as HHS secretary, who was in charge of this, in charge of bringing the kids in and then handing them over to pimps and labor traders and God knows who else. And he's on the ballot in November. You, the California voter, have selected him as the one or two choices to vote for governor. And will probably elect his stupid ass, as his colleagues have called him, in the Democratic Party. Here's the report on OAN. Mark Wayne Mullen, Department of Homeland Security.
146,000 kids so far. 146,000 kids. We still have nearly 300,000 missing. We're investigating reports to where some of these kids claim that they were raped 600 to 700 times.
Kids raped 600 to 700 times. Brought to you by Javier Becceria. I want to know if everyone that supports votes for Javier Becceria, that's what you're for? That's what the America you want to see? Oh, we're going to fight you harder than we ever have fought before. Anywhere, anytime, however you want to do it, because you people are the essence of evil. Every one of you.
I don't care who you are. I don't care if you have kids, if you don't have kids. I don't care if you're a liberal, you're independent, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican. If you can't stand for law enforcement to go find these kids, who are you?
It's exactly what I'm asking. Everyone that's supporting Javier Becceria or voted for him, who the hell are you? Prove that you're not the most evil people that have ever walked on the planet Earth. If you will praise someone who allowed kids to get raped 4, 5, 600 times. Each individual one, and sold into sex and labor slaves, and as we said, God knows what the hell else. Are you really that evil? Well, so far you're proving it. You got a chance to back it up. Here's some more from Mark Williams.
Who are you? Every leader should understand what's going on. And do you know where we're finding the most of them? Sanctuary cities.
Sanctuary cities. Los Angeles. San Francisco, the whole frickin' state of California. Seattle, New York. Chicago. If this doesn't light a fire under your ass, I don't know what is. California, and again, I don't want to hear any excuses or this, or just because you hate Trump, you're going to allow this. Again, frickin' explain to me how much evil is in your heart to subject 500,000 kids to this kind of torture. And then you're going to elevate the ones who did it? Like Javier Becceria? You can stuff him right up your ass. You should be castigating Telemundo and all the ones and Robert Reyes and Corey Jackson who are supporting this. I'm going to give some a chance to do the right thing. If they don't, you're going to be on the wall of shame that has never been bigger. Remember, that choice is yours. As Mark Wayne Mullen said, I don't care who you are. If you're standing for people like Javier Becceria that would release this kind of evil on children, then you are right there with them as the most evil people who have ever walked the planet Earth in human history. We'll catch into more of this, more of today's happenings, on the rest of today's show. And I really mean that. We'll see how or why or who, if we can back it up. If you're supporting Javier Becceria, who released 500,000 kids into the United States to be raped or tortured hundreds of times, to be abused as labor slaves, sex slaves, and as I said, God knows who what. You are some of the most evil, if not the evilest people that have walked the planet Earth. That right there should disqualify the man. How he got one vote is beyond my comprehension, but I ain't going to figure it out. This is a line in the sand. If you're going to go for this, then again, I guarantee you the fight is on. Test it. If you think you're badass enough, we'll put that to the test. More great news. Well, if you're from Texas, it's great news. Texas has replaced California with the most Fortune 500 capital. Texas' 57 Fortune 500 companies made roughly $2.8 trillion in revenue compared to California's 56 companies. They're one up on us. at roughly 2.7 trillion. New York comes in third with 53 companies at 2.2 trillion. So we are no longer the financial hub of the United States of America, as we were through the 1900s or the 20th century. In the 1800s, Virginia was the financial capital of the United States. New York replaced that in the, well, that's the 18th century, from the 1700s. New York replaced them in the 19th century, 1800 to 1899. California in the 20th century, 1900 to 1999. And up to this point, Texas has now surpassed us and will probably be the financial power moving forward in the United States, which means per capita they're 25% bigger because we're 25% larger in population. But even on the raw numbers, like Gulag Gavin Newsom tries to complain all the time, or tries to compare. It's absolutely 1,000% ridiculous. Having lived through the basic boom coming out of World War II, basically, though, into the 60s, 70s, 80s, California became the financial hub of the U.S. and the world, the dominant force. We had manufacturing, aerospace, technology, and some of the most beautiful, rich natural resource ground in the planet. And now we're systematically flushing it down the toilet. The majority of the people nominated Javier Bacceria. They support him by 60%. A man who has taken hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of girls and had them raped 500, 600, 700 times. This stuff is plain 1,000, 1,000,000, 111%. I didn't even know the words. Evil. Despicable. There isn't terms really that can come up with this. But here we are, and we're going to flush it down the toilet some more. We get into the California election fraud. They're just making a farce out of California. And we gave them the tools to do it. El Presidente was asked a question at his press conference today about passing the Save America Act so we can at least start getting control of our elections. Same-day voting, paper ballots, no ballot harvesting, or 60 days, or, whoa, we got the count done. We keep counting until we get the results we want. Here's old Donald J.
Sure. Yep.
On the Save America Act, you're now urging Republicans to add that to this third reconciliation bill.
Yeah.
What's your perspective on why election integrity matters so much for national security from your perspective?
Well, we
as
need it
Commander-in-Chief?
for our elections. We need to have voter identification, which you don't have right now, on a national basis. We need it for, and the voter ID is very important. We need it for proof of citizenship. Do you believe it? The Democrats are fighting They don't want you to prove your citizenship when you vote. You know why they want that? Because they cheat. And we also want it with mail-in voting, where you have people that are sent 7, 8 ballots, 2 ballots, 4 ballots, and a lot of them sign those ballots. Mail-in voting, and we want to be very judicious. If you're in the military and you're far away, or if you're handicapped, or if you're sick, or if you're on vacation, that you have a, but you're not going to, millions and millions, look at California, they send out millions of ballots, tens of millions, they have no idea what's going on. Those elections are so corrupt. So we have a mail-in ballot, then we have no men, and we had 2 more, no men in women's sports. We're talking about saving America, right? No men in women's sports, another one, very popular. I think it's 99-1. They say it's 80-20. I think it's 99-1. And we have no mutilization of your children for transgender purposes. So it's the transgender mutilization of your children. Does that sound good with you guys, generally speaking? You're not into transgender mutilization of
Not
your
at all.
child, right?
Not at all, sir.
Where your child leaves your house and they take your child from you. In some cases, think of it, in 6 states, they take the child and do what they want to do. What they do is I don't even want to talk about it. Sir.
DPPS, Child Protective Services, that's another thing we got to clean up. Along with BECCERA and Biden. Girls raped 600-700 times under BECCERA. He just said, give them to them. Give them to the pimps. Oh, they're going to love it. Holy Christ. It's beyond almost any comprehension. That's the way we used to do it. California's been leading the charge. What, in 18? We came up, before it's a slow progression, mail-in ballots, and then COVID torched it off. They saw, okay, here's the opening. All you 80% that took the jab, this is what you brought us. And you want to call us the 20% that stood up, whether it be at the crime syndicate here at the Moreno Valley Unified School District, that corrupt-ass organization who forced, basically threatened all of them. Only 17 out of 3,500 employees didn't take the vax because they knew if they didn't take the vax, they wouldn't have a job. And they were discriminated against, made to do other things that others didn't have, that had the clot shot. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy every consequence you get from it, too. Because you voluntarily took it. You did not stand up. Just like the 60% that are probably going to vote for BECCERA for governor, you are stamping the rape of hundreds of thousands of 10,000 girls hundreds of times and saying, you know what, girls, you should have loved that. And they, like you said, in 18, we had, that was the first ballot harvesting. Well, you know, if mom is incapacitated, you know, the husband or the son or daughter or whatever could, if you were a close family relative, you could take the ballot in. And then now it's just like, oh, you can put a check mark on it and a scratch that somebody delivered it. Oh, that's okay. And we don't even have to get into the rest of the list. But Seedorf had this report. No evidence. Stuff it right up your ass. Here we go.
Do you want to speak with us real quick?
No.
The heart of LA's homeless crisis on Skid Row. What's it like out here?
It's nice.
Fun.
It's fun?
Mm-hmm.
Now the center of concerning questions about signature gathering and voter registration.
They're just trying to collect signatures, get paid, and so in return, we'll offer you a few bucks, and there you go on your merry way.
Some say they've never seen it.
No, I've never seen any
of that. It's happening. For sure it's happening.
Others say it happens all the time. How often do you see these signature signer people?
Every day.
People on Skid Row with clipboards accused of offering money or cigarettes in exchange for signing documents.
They will pay you to fill out a petition. Cigarettes, here you go. Money, here you go.
What kind of stuff do they want you to sign?
Just those are like petitions and stuff like that?
It's like promises like housing or, oh, this is for like a new governor or something like that.
What address do people put on there?
Most people use that just right there.
Do they also try to get you registered to vote?
They can, but that's not bad. That's not a bad thing. But yeah, they have a way to register you to vote.
Earlier this week, Brenda Armstrong pleaded guilty in federal court to paying another person to register to vote, which is illegal. According to her plea agreement, Armstrong spent nearly 2 decades working as a paid petition circulator, oftentimes on Skid Row.
We get all these reports, evidence, convictions. Oh, we're registered at the Mission or the Churla headquarters or the office buildings like O'Keefe and Company have put out. Oh, there's no evidence. You're going to hear that in a second.
It's the biggest group of mass people, gathered in one place, but also you have the most people who won't do nothing without a dollar because they're half of them on drugs, you know what I'm saying?
Outside LA City Hall, only about a mile away, some people say that they see these signature collectors here as well.
It's that you sign, like you're voting.
You gotta sign us this.
So they give you the name to sign?
Everything.
So you're not even giving your own name? According to the California Post, voting records show 1,160 people with a voter registration address here, the Midnight Mission on Skid Row. We asked the LA County Registrar how this could be possible when the shelter has just 120 beds. They say individuals experiencing homelessness may register by identifying a location where they regularly stay.
That could be the park in your community. That could be at Disneyland, whomever. This is flat ridiculous. Here's that lying sack of ish. You want to love Democrats? Or just kooks? Asshole politicians? Hakeem Jeffries.
Earlier in the week, you told me that there is no election fraud happening in California and that anyone who questions the outcome of the election is a conspiracy theorist. However, there are now homeless people on Skid Row admitting they were bribed with cash, drugs, other incentives to vote Democrat in elections. Does that change your stance at all on whether or not these elections are rigged?
Listen, I'm unfamiliar with those reports, and I wouldn't be surprised if those are part of some far-right conspiracy theory being peddled on the internet to try to convince the American people that there's evidence of fraud in California.
Convictions in court. Physical evidence of cameras and video of this happening. Oh, it's just some right-wing conspiracy. We got to hate Trump. We got to hate the evil hillbilly Roy and all that. Oh, just a bunch of racists. You know, if you want to stop anything, that's what the big deal is. Oh, just call it racist. That's the shield. Hakeem Jeffries, Javier. You can't say anything about Javier Bacceria because he's Mexican. He can let hundreds of girls get raped. Hundreds of times. And you can't say anything because you would be a racist. Stuff it up your ass. We're going to say it louder and prouder because we're going to stand for what's right. And we're going to call out evil people like Bacceria and Hakeem Jeffries and Corey Jackson and Ulysses Cabrera, and the list goes on. Do you want to be on that list? Tom Del Beccaro was on Real America's Voice. Here we go.
The two big topics let's start with Spencer Pratt, because I watched this thing go down. Again, after the day's vote, Spencer Pratt was solidly second. One thing I never understood, guys, is they had Karen Bass with a check mark already. Spencer Pratt was within a couple of percentage points of Karen Bass for the lead, and the third place, whatever the heck her name is, she was far, far behind, but they wouldn't give Spencer that check mark until the very end when they flipped it and Spencer becomes third place. I'll start with you, Tom. Funny business or not?
Well, the way they operate, they beg you to assume that there is funny business going on. Keep in mind that this third candidate, Rahman, entered at the very end after already endorsing Bass. She wasn't endorsed by her own DSA. She lost her own area around where she lives, her own district, and then she went up a huge percentage, almost double the percentage of Bass and Pratt in a very short period of time to vault into second place.
How does that happen, Tom? How?
We know how it happens, H.E. Trump said it. Holy bleeping cow. Mickey Cows put it up there, same thing. I remember when ballot harvesting first made the news in 18. You got the impression ballots were just being collected and delivered. Remember one harvester telling the press he was told not to discriminate by party, didn't fill out the ballot himself, and you were obviously not collecting ballots, you were generating them. From Mickey Cows and Matt Taibbi, not part of the vast right-wing conspiracy. There are no checks and balances. There is nothing. Yet, they're going to shove it down our throats. They're going to shove BECCERA down our throats in California. And if you don't vote for BECCERA, the man who facilitated tens of thousands of girls getting raped hundreds of times, you're a racist. Screw you. We're going to fight you like you've never been in a battle before. You can absolutely take that to the bank. Vaya caramba. Some of this stuff is just beyond belief. What a deal on a practice Friday. I don't know how we're going to take all this stuff. Here's more evidence. Videotape evidence. Go.
And I met a man at the train depot, and he said, "Are you a registered voter?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, that's okay. I want to pay you to vote." And I said, "Again, I'm not a registered voter." And he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to North Hollywood." He said, "Oh, I'm going the same way just by chance. I'll meet up with you there." And he did. We both got off the train. He said, "Come over here and sit down." I sat down with him and I said, "Again, I'm not a registered voter." He said, "Oh, that's fine." He pulled out his phone and he said, "Do you got nice penmanship?" Well, yeah, why? "Okay, here's the names. What I want you to do is write this name on this form and then sign the signature and I'll pay you." I said, "I'm not doing that." "But I'll pay you." I said, "I don't care." "Oh, okay." Then he walked away. He was trying to pay me to do voter fraud, and I'm not doing that.
He is trying to pay me to do voter fraud. And she said, "I'm not doing that." Thank goodness we have some good people left. Even in Skid Row in downtown LA. Here's more evidence. Hakeem, BECCERA, and all you want to call us evil.
So who do you think these people are with the ballots? Are they like political?
They're working for political parties, yeah.
They are.
They are, that's obvious.
For like Democratic parties or for who do
We
you
don't
think?
ask and they don't
You
tell.
don't ask and they don't tell?
But we know that they got to answer to somebody by what they said. Don't fuck it up because it's not authentic. I don't want to have to scratch it out. And don't let your signature look like the other signature. Can you use your other hand or can you write with your foot or your nose? I'm serious.
They ask you to do that?
Yeah.
On the ballots?
And I'm telling you, just so I can get the money and add it up and get my Betty every time.
Yeah, so how many
But I
ballots?
had a monkey on my bed. Betty's no joke.
How many ballots would you sign at once? Like
At least, like, if I was lucky, 4 or 5.
4 at a time?
Or 5. It depends on everybody if they didn't hurry up and get the business.
And they get you to vote for the same person?
No, they want us to vote for whatever the ballot is.
They want us to vote whatever the ballot is. How much more of this nonsense are we going to take? Today's LA mayor's race, writes Rob Pliers. Conspiracy theory is getting thousands of retweets. Pratt votes are being rejected en masse. Pratt is down by 3K votes. It's 29,000, 18,000 Pratt voters received signature cure ballot letters. There are 13K left in all of LA County. Now, I've heard it from Riverside County. And I very rarely do this, but this was an off-the-record comment. 90% of the rejected ballots for signatures or whatever were supposedly Republican. Now, again, it was a pretty high level, probably about as extreme high-level source as you're going to get. Hopefully they'll have guts enough to say this publicly. But I will say this, look at who's suing who to not recount the ballots in Riverside County. We've known this has been going on. Well, the judge said we proved it in Riverside County back in 2005, but he said, hey, the election's over, too bad, you'll have to fix it in the next one. That's how we at least got the paper ballots, so we could at least maybe verify this deal in Riverside County or LA or anything else 20 years later. So even though we didn't rectify the 2004 election, which we know we got corrupt out of, but at least we have the tools to do it. And as I said, that's why I voted for Deborah Bowen, the Democrat, for Secretary of State, because she said, everybody, if you elect me Secretary of State, everybody's going to have a paper ballot. The evil Republican Bruce McPherson, for all he uses one, I said it at the time. Not voting for that piece of trash establishment crap hole who's screwing the people over. Because he wanted to keep the machines, and we knew we were getting screwed. The judge said, we know. Yeah, you're getting screwed, but what are you going to do? Look who's fighting who. Voter rolls in LA County increased by 691,000 people since 2018, despite losing 366,600 residents. Ever since they signed that ballot harvesting, oh, you don't have to give an address. You can say I'm living at the Coliseum or Magic Mountain or on the Golden Gate Bridge, on top of Mount Whitney. Oh, that's great. I mean, it's, they had to hold it out till they just fairly squeak measure the sales tax increase in LA County over the line. Reminds you of Prop 1, the bond issue. Oh, right at the end, they got to barely squeak it over. Oh, it just passed barely. Good thing Riverside residents got Measure G. We'll be on to more of this on tomorrow on Real Friday. When I get into Donald J. said a deal is imminent. And I said, hey, tell us when people have signed on the line. But here's the latest this morning from Donald J.
Certainly, we have a deal that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, which was the whole purpose of what we had to go through to get this. So it was a very big thing. But we have a signing soon, and the documents are in pretty final shape. So we'll see. We'll see. Very good. Should be done. That should be done pretty quickly. They want it every bit as much as everybody else wants it. And I think a lot of good relationships can ensue from this.
So he said he's not bombing today, pending this memorandum of understanding that's getting drawn up as signed. Again, we shall see. Let's get it done. Let's get back to normal programming. Karen Bass's own brother. His house burnt down in the Pacific Palisades. He's now having to sue, almost a year and a half later since his house got smoked. And his sister is the mayor. Here's ABC 7 report.
Own brother is part of a massive lawsuit against the city over the Palisades fire. We're diving into the court documents, naming him as one of the plaintiffs. Thanks again for joining us live at ABC 7, Disney, Plus, and everywhere you stream. I'm David Ono.
I'm Liz Nagy in for Giovanna Lara. Thousands of property owners who saw their homes burned to the ground in the Palisades are now suing the city of L.A.
And today we learned Mayor Bass's own brother is also taking legal action. Eyewitness News investigative reporter Kevin Ozebek has been combing through the court documents and joins us live with what the mayor has to say about this. Kevin.
Well, David and Liz, for many in the Palisades burn zone who blame the city for their loss, there's a real good bit of irony here. They're also very surprised to learn that Mayor Bass's own brother is with them in this massive legal fight.
Why would anybody be surprised? Karen Bass will screw her own brother. Let his house burn. Hey, you're on your own, buddy. Don't call me, I'll call you. Hell, you ain't even invited to Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner because I don't want to hear about it.
With heavy winds whipping embers around the Pacific Palisades and into Malibu, we all know the damage that was left behind. As a result, thousands whose homes were damaged or destroyed have joined lawsuits going after multiple defendants, including the state, LADWP, and the city of Los Angeles. And it turns out one of those plaintiffs is Kenneth D. Bass, the brother of LA Mayor Karen Bass. Court documents show Kenneth owned this Malibu property complete with a guest house, pool, and putting green. But from Air 7, you can see the main home is long gone. According to this lawsuit, first reported on by LA Material, the home is a total burn down, and Kenneth Bass experienced smoke inhalation and emotional distress.
The politics of it is very strange.
But Malibu resident...
No, it's not. The politics of this is not strange at all. Again, LA, you're gonna read your choices: Buffoon Bass, the communist, Castro sympathizer, versus Comrade Nithya Noodles Ramen, the out-and-out communist. Lord have mercy on all of us. I don't know if we'll be able to survive it, but we shall see. It'll be a heck of a run. Nothing but the battles. But again, I'm going to emphasize, all you Bacceria supporters, you're in for the biggest fight you ever seen. You're going to support that evil piece of ish who turned over thousands of teenage girls to be raped hundreds of thousands of times. I, for one, have no use for you. And second, if you're gonna support that, you're gonna get exposed like you've never been exposed politically before. Take that to the bank. We shall see. That'll do it for today. As we usually say at this time, mandatory, you're back here in 23 hours wide. You're the best darn show in the whole wide world. Till then, see ya. Ah!